today. I will be in Lithuania on Thursday and Friday and Saturdays.
I see. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. On the 14th day of ending this first world record attempt for the most ethical and impact-driven CEOs globally, I've got Topi Paananen, who is the Peikko's CEO, right? And the leader of a family-owned business, which is a global corporate, I would say, doing major things, and we'll tap into that. But without further ado, Topi, welcome. And I have this one brave question for you, because I just 10 minutes before for the interview, I went into your website, looked at your LinkedIn profile, and I thought, what do I really want to ask you? And since there is this family-owned business, I believe that probably there was a moment in your life when you understood that it's going to be you who is going to be taking over. Do you remember that moment in your life, and could you share that moment with us, and how did you feel?
I don't think that there was a one single moment for that one. And I think if I kind of go into this religious terminology, some people are telling that they kind of got the faith. Some people are having a big bang and then they're getting the faith. Some people are growing into the faith. I think the same way happened to me, that I was growing to the idea that maybe this family business is not that bad after all. I think it's critical for me that beginning of my career for some 5 years, I was working outside of the family business. And I truly recommend that for anybody who is having a family business in a way waiting for them. It's good to see world outside, and then it's maybe good to go inside and take a chance. And I took the chance by kind of with the conscious decision that if this is not good, I can afford to step out. And I still haven't stepped out from this Peikko company for the last 18 years, so it must have been quite okay then.
What a wonderful, kind of advice. I never even thought about that, but yeah, it's kind of more conscious than a choice. So, what should we know about you and Peikko, Topi? What do you do, guys, and how is the world better off because your company is in it?
So maybe first of all, what we do, we are a provider of materials for the construction industry. We are materials manufacturer, materials which are made out of steel, which are sold to the designers, to the investors, to the building companies, to the one specific segment called precasters, who are kind of making modularized construction in a way. And that's what we do. That's what we do in having our own people in 30 countries selling these concepts, giving technical support for the customers. And that's what we do by manufacturing almost all or most of the items by ourselves in our own 12 factories around the world. So that's what we do. And when we are building, we are focusing on the construction business. Then of course we are kind of operating in the business which is highly unsustainable in many ways. We are traditionally building a construction business has been not kind of material efficient, or there is a lot of materials used which are kind of in today's perspective questionable, and that's why we need to do many things to improve a situation within this industry, and we have been able to do so, and that's what I'm proud about.
Oh, wonderful. So going back to that question of the world record, and if I've read a lot about Peikko, and I know, guys, that you are doing amazing things, and they really want to, distract that out from you. So how is the world better off because you guys are in it?
It's all about kind of specific solutions. I mean, we are working for several industries. We are our parts are part of the nuclear power plants, so like also when nuclear power plants are being closed, like Ignalina in Lithuania, like Hinkley Point C in UK, Olkiluoto in Finland. So we are part of making CO2 free energy. We are involved with wind turbine foundations so that these wind turbine towers can stand, even though they are big towers already today. So we have specific solutions for the energy industry, but for normal construction, we also do. We were the first company in Europe, to our knowledge, which was promoting recycled steel as part of the construction steel, let's say. So we cannot say that it's green steel. Green steel is there to come in the coming 5 to 10 years, but we have been able to utilize in our manufacturing recycled steel and provide the documentation and the case using biodiesel for transportation, using renewable energy for manufacturing, using solvent-free paints to kind of cover them and coat them. So kind of we are changing the terms of a steel industry. And then another topic is circular economy, that with our connections, these kind of big elements, columns, beams, walls, they may be reused in another building. So we are trying to kind of give another life for the components in another building after X amount of years. So this is kind of heavily what we are investigating. It's not yet maybe reality because of regulation, but we truly believe that it's going to be the future of construction, that things can be reused, not
I'm
only
so glad that you
with
are.
mashed together and recycled, but as components. Let's say.
Yeah, that I mean, it takes time, right? It will always, there is a delay between our intention and the results. But what I love about what you do, guys, as you said, normally the construction industry, I mean, quite few companies are truly like honestly thinking about sustainability, like, to be honest, right? Because it's a quite an easy business. I mean, the development part, building and selling, that's what I
Uh,
mean. But
yeah.
mhm.
I think many larger companies, larger corporations, they are actually talking about it. Many of them are doing things already within our business field, but it's kind of like there are there are marketing related topics, and then there are action related topics. And we as Peikko, we want to do things, we want to pilot things, and one example is that I'm just building my house right now, or not myself, but I'm letting it to be built. And then we just realized that let's have a pilot project for these circular connections and circular economy on that case. And then this is kind of like we at Peikko, we are willing to try out and do real stuff. And that maybe is a little bit different comparing to some other companies. That's how I
Yeah,
see it, but
because
I hope to be right as well.
wonderful. Yeah, when we first try it out ourselves, then we see how how much it can be more done. Let's move to other questions. I really want to tap into the understanding. How do you ever thought, or maybe even see in Topi, the differences between the mindset when the CEO is a hired CEO, right? If you would, like, move to the board of directors or remove yourself from the company and you would hire the CEO, or the CEO who truly, feels the intention of the previous generation, let's say of your father, probably, or your family, right? Who kind of invented the company. Are there any differences from a hired CEO and the CEO who steps to manage the business within the family?
Uh, I mean, I have always said that there are good family companies and there are bad family companies, and there are idiots and there are smart people with all the families. So I hope to be the smart and the good guy within the family business segment. Uh, so it all depends, but at least I would say that what others have been commenting me is that basically uh, they are seeing kind of the passion. And I think that's also in many cases true in many family companies, that when there is somebody with the passion, um, maybe he's not such a great guy, but the passion is many times kind of compensating the
Bigger.
other weaknesses. So it's kind of like one thing, and then another thing, of course, is that depending on the business you are working on, there is a different kind of time horizon. And in construction business, in many cases, it takes time when the new innovations are taken into use. And in our business field, actually, it's very advantageous to have a little bit longer time horizon. And in the case of Peikko, we have benefit very much from the fact that we are now working and spending money on something which will become money in 5 years of time. And as a family company, we can afford that. We don't have to report the next quarter results. And that has helped us as Peikko to grow and go forward, that we are able to invest a slightly longer term setup. And that's at best, that's the family company benefit.
Okay. Yeah, I see that totally now when you explain that normally, like if it's not a family business and you have you have more pressure, that's what I would say, short term and long term, and depending on how you deal as a leader with that pressure, it it triggers the way you deal with your energy and how bold and brave decisions you can make, and what level of obsession of or passion you can still hold when there is this pressure. um and more questions. Have you ever had some like really dark moments throughout your time in Peikko where you like literally thought, like should I continue? Is this for me?
I think sometimes something that every day, of course, that what, and I think the key is maybe the not that whether I would not have the passion. I think for these whatever 18 years, almost 18 years, I have always had the passion. I think the key question has been that whether I am the right person to be a
Hmm.
CEO in this company, whether I have the qualities, whether I have the knowledge, whether I have the kind of the whether my personality is the right one for the situation of the company at that particular moment. And I think that's something we always need to consider, that what is best for the company, and it may be that sometimes I'm not the best. I need to hire somebody else to do the job, and that's how it goes. But so far, at least, we have been not bankrupt because of me. So let's see.
That's a very that's a huge step, that's a huge success to celebrate. And speaking about that question, I love that how vulnerable you are, and raw and honest. I believe that each of us, we have these type of questions: am I the right guy or a right leader? What do you do when you have these moments? Is there like some time of routine or ritual you have, Topi, that helps you to find these answers within yourself?
I think even if things are fantastically, I mean, the moment I'm going to the to home and see my kids and my wife, for sure they will tell me that step out of that CEO role and just do the laundry. So I think that hard reality is always good to have. Uh, and, uh, and I think if we think about what are the kind of the other things to do in the hard times, or even good times, you have to kind of have a balance. One has to understand that this is a marathon run, and not a sprint. If you're running this kind of a life
Hmm.
sentence like I have. But so you have to go to like me last weekend, you have to go to the forest and have the chainsaw and cut some trees for several hours, and then you basically are better off after that experience, cutting some trees
Hmm.
and really see something really results of your work at sometimes as well. But I mean, you have to have a certain sort of balance at least on with your family, with your other things. I cannot say that I have a lot of hobbies, etc. Peikko is also my
Mm-hmm.
hobby, but there is definitely another side of things what I also do that keeps
Mm-hmm.
me that I'm not thinking too much about Peikko at some times of the week, definitely.
Mm. And are there some things you are, let's say, more aware of now that you weren't aware of, I don't know, a couple or 3 years ago that truly changed you as a human, as a leader, and as well in one or another way driven impact to Peikko?
I think the kind of the mission of being within Peikko has changed over the years for sure. I think first of all it was this dream of running a global company and making an impact of components that are changing the quality of construction business with the better quality, with the faster process times, etc. I think the kind of the globalization aspect is rather weak at the moment when the whole world is coming to be part of various blocks and of course the prime example of that one is that we had to say bye bye for Russian factory last year.
That's
So
right.
the kind of this global naiveness is definitely out. But I would also say that it has over the years evolved. I think 2017 we started to talk about circular economy. We had a board of director member from Denmark, a Danish architect, joining us. I was meeting various kinds of people, understanding the world dynamics regarding environment and what we as Peikko could do for it. And now, let's say after 6 years, we actually have a quite a good things what we have already achieved, and we know quite well on where do we go, where are we wanting to go. So I think that is kind of the inner drive at the moment that
Hmm.
we can develop the kind of the company to be a solution maker for the problems of the world and not just creating problems for the world.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, it takes probably some big events in our lives and I mean society and economics and politics to yeah to awaken, as I say, and to have these thoughts in the place. And I wonder, with I
Just,
see
just,
what you yeah keep
just
on yeah
Yeah, Laura, if I can just add here, I have
sure.
been blessed by the fact that I have had a good team around me, and that's board of directors. So as a family company, we have an active board with non-executive board members, and I think this is also kind of a network where you are kind of getting encouraged, getting sometimes punished why I'm not doing this and that, but also kind of getting the ideas on what should we do, and that has been also important. That as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, you should never be alone. You should be surrounded by people who are good discussion partners, are able to guide you.
Absolutely, because it can be really a lonely journey, and we all need to have some sounding board and encouragement. And yeah, sometimes just to talk with someone who will not gonna reject us. And going to other questions, have you ever thought like how your industry could look like in 50 years from now? And like if you could just let's shoot for the for the moon, a moonshot, and just reimagine differently that industry, how would you want that to be? What would make you like incredibly proud?
I think it's not a matter of whether I dream something or not. It will change. The construction business will change because just the lack of resources available. So we will be having circular future by circulating building frames. Once it was a apartment, now it's an office building, maybe later on a kindergarten. So basically we need to reuse the resources what we have much better, and we will be doing that. we will be using much more environmentally friendly materials. Uh, uh, we hopefully we will be not building less, but only for the use. Uh, I think the ingredients are actually there on how to go
Mhm.
forward and how to do things. I think the future is clearly visible, and I think the technology for these things are existing. So it's just a matter of doing and getting the regulation in place. And there's a good regulation coming up in European Union level, which is going to be fairly easy to follow up. I'm actually quite optimistic about the business
Mm.
case for us and then for the whole industry in the coming 20, 30, 50 years.
Interesting. And I know that you guys are quite a big company right now. You've got like over 300 million euros in revenue. I believe around 2,000 people working. How do you pay? How in Peikko, guys, you create business practices or rituals that allow you to focus on both the impact and profit? Because I talk with many, right, and I work with many different companies, and it seems that there is always, like two fields. There is one saying that it's only profit, the other ones they're saying it's only impact, but it seems that there is a difficulty to merge kind of both aspects into, as I say, my daily work as an employee. Um, do you have some business practices that help you guys to take a look at both of these aspects?
Yeah, I mean, this is always the challenge on us as well, as we are wanting to do good, and sometimes we're forgetting the profit and the kind of the short term profit. We always want to develop and build more factories and get the better technologies and then sometimes we are doing too much. But I think then the hard times they are always shaking us up, and then we
Mm-hmm.
are kind of back on track on the profit. And I think as of right now in May 2023, definitely we are in need to focus more on the profit side, even short or medium term profits. So we just have to do less development and focus now on kind of survival, because we know that if we don't survive well and make profit,
Sure.
there's no money to
No.
develop either. So it's kind of like a give and take, that you have to do both, otherwise you are not
Mm-hmm.
able to go forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, and I'm just thinking about the last question, the one I want to ask, because I grew up in Lithuania. You obviously grew up in Finland, but we kind of, our cultures are very look-alike, I would say. And now when we have the situation, geopolitical situation, and the war, I'm like myself trying to understand the narrative in our culture coming from Soviet Union and how we grew up as entrepreneurs and what type of mindset we developed. And do you see like what maybe benefits of in our belief system you see compared, let's say, with other countries, and where we should maybe think about new beliefs as entrepreneurs and CEOs within the Baltic region, which would allow us to play bigger?
Okay, you were referring that you are coming from Lithuania, I from Finland. I think we are. My some of my relatives are from Estonia, from the Soviet Estonia those times, and I think we have a fear factor, the
Hmm.
Eastern fear factor, kind of in our genetic background, in a way, that we are from the small countries, both of us, and we have a fear factor in one way or the other. Um, of course, the situation was slightly different from in Finland during the
Sure.
1970s, 80s, comparing to Lithuania, which was my 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 uh, my my relatives are maybe not not gone to Siberia, whereas maybe some of your relatives were there. So it was more concrete for Lithuanians than for Finns, this fear factor. But I think that maybe the main point here is that we are from the small countries, and we are working from the country which is in case of the Baltic countries and Finland, we are open economies. So we have to immediately, as we are from the small country, if we have a business idea, we have to immediately cross the borders and try to sell that great concept to somebody else who is not necessarily speaking our own language. And this is kind of forcing us to internationalize much more faster. And we also have to understand that the kind of the smartest people are not necessarily living in Finland or in Lithuania. So we have to also recruit to our teams also people from other cultures and countries. And that forces us to be by default more international. And that has helped many Lithuanian companies. That has also helped Peikko in our journey, particularly in relationship with some of our competitors from France or from UK or from Germany. And I think this is a huge benefit that we are kind of forced to international very early steps of our history of our companies. And that is basically, in many cases, I can see that companies from Baltic countries and companies from these small Nordic countries, we must be brave because that's the only way we can survive. We must be active because there's no free lunch. There's no friends to talk with. You have to go beyond the friendships of your case. So it's actually it's competitive environment, but it's a very good background to use these countries as a springboard for your business. And I think it's the same thing with Lithuania and Finland that I mean, at the moment, the customers do not really care where the headquarters are, whether they are in a small country and in a small city in the small country. Everything is on the internet, so it doesn't matter anymore. And that's also the beauty of nowadays running the big business or bigger business, that your heritage, it doesn't really matter where you're from, because people are taking you as your service and as the service you provide in that particular location where you're servicing, not from the headquarter point. So Baltic countries and Nordic countries, they are good countries to have headquarters and good countries to start business.
Yeah, because it forces us, as you say, really to be bold and freaking brave to take ourselves out there in a second language and really have a very clear value proposition and very clear voice of why choosing us and etc. No, I honestly I really wanted to touch that question because I see as well still many people in my generation and above that there is this fear kind of holding us back, that, oh, we are too small to do that, or who we are to do this or that. But as you say, like twisting that to a positive side and thinking that, yeah, if this is what I want as an entrepreneur and CEO, that's the only way to go ahead. There is no other way to have
One,
a lunch.
one, one thing still, I'm located currently in my office in Lahti, which is a 120,000 person city in Finland. In our office, we have more than 15 nationalities working. We have people from Argentina, Brazil, from various countries of Africa, from Russia, from Estonia, from Slovakia. So it's kind of like in today's world, you can have this international setup in almost anywhere. And that's also the kind of the beauty of me running the business, that even in my home base, I can experience of a lot of various cultures. And that's fantastic.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, it is absolutely. And my house is in between two small cities. I'm literally a mile away from the seaside, so and not even changing that place to anywhere. Thank you, Topi, so much for joining the CEO World Record. Having you, it's it's an honor for everyone who is gonna join, and I know that you guys gonna network and you will gonna be able to share a lot of insights and vulnerabilities as well. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. How do you feel?
You're taking the. Do you
No,
did you
I
take the
stopped
recording out
recording.
already, or
I stopped recording. Now it's uploading,
you
so
stopped?
it
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Okay.
How do you
Was this
feel?
something that you were expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
I
you
mean,
for
these are
being
just
for
okay
being
questions.
you. Thank you for being you. So,
Okay.
so it was great. It was
Good.
great. So. Mhm.
Yeah.
Once it will be done, I believe that the team, it's already tomorrow or latest within 48 hours, will let you know about the interview. We'll kind of share with you what are the next steps if you want to follow them. On 27th, we
Yeah.
have a celebration, but you will get those emails, so hopefully it's not going to get into the spam. But anyway, I will follow you on LinkedIn, and we'll be connected. Thank you, Topi, so
Yeah. Yeah.
much.
Yeah. And so basically, you said you sent me an email uh, on the 27th of May
Yes,
at
it's
8 p.m.
it's
There
it,
would be,
it's unfortunately
and
Saturday,
that
but
is
that's
asking
how.
about that, and that's about 1 hour meeting, or
It's going to be an hour and a half. So we're asking everyone who participated if they can join. If you can't join, maybe there is someone else from the team they can join. If you can't, it is as it is. But
yeah, most likely I'm back in after my trips of Lithuania, China. I will be back in Europe on that time. So most likely it should be okay.
okay, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Wonderful meeting you. We'll
Hey,
stay in touch.
thanks.
Okay,
Okay,
Topi.
thanks.
Bye bye. Yeah, you too. Bye. Bye.